everybody, 'tis I. I want to talk about rescuing birds, which is something I actually do. I am a birder. I am a lover of birds. I don't know everything about birds, but when I was a little girl, I raised a parakeet who was my very best friend. His name was Sebastian, and just the love of my life. So, anyways, I started with that one and then didn't have birds, after I raised my girls, etc. Got married, got in. Finally, I told my husband I want to adopt my first bird as an adult. And I wanted a bird that would bond with me. So I went with a green cheek conure, and I have since gotten 9 green cheek conures, all different colored mutations. I have a Nande conure and a Patagonian conure. So, anyways, I just want to talk about what I've experienced lately when people know you're a bird lady, bird person, etc. So people in my town know me because before, when he was flying all over the place, she would always come with me to Walmart and the local stores, and people fell in love with her. So people on Facebook, if someone was looking for a home for a certain parakeet, conure, etc., they would get a hold of me, and I would take care of the bird. I had to make room. Didn't always have the room, but anyways, we make do. That's just what we do in this house. So anyways, first rescue. People in my town, there was a post, people started tagging me, Laura, you can save this bird. So the post was basically, the woman had said one of her tenants had left a bird behind and they couldn't take care of him. Could someone come and pick him up? So I said, I'll do it. I showed up at the house. His cage was covered. The house was kind of disheveled and had a certain odor, but I'm sure my house has a certain odor too. My house is clean, but don't get me wrong. I always have, I try to keep things clean. So took him home with the cover on the cage. Got home, took the cover off, and holy hell, the bottom of the cage had about this much feces and buildup and crud. So the cage had not been cleaned in probably months. The water dish was slimy. There was hardly any food in the food dish. And in the bottom of the cage were, I think, hamster or gerbil pellets. It was probably the most disgusting thing I'd ever seen. The bird was disheveled, unkempt. So I had to remove him from the cage, put him in a clean cage, bleach and scrub the other one, give him a bath, and then put him back in the cage. I had never seen a bird in this condition before, because even when I owned a parakeet, rule number one, you got to keep the cage clean. It's just, you don't leave things in the bottom because, if you live in an area, you could have ants or mice or whatever, that things get in there. So anyways, that's the first one. Well, he fortunately was rehomed with my good friend who loves parakeets, and so he's in a new home. He has buddies and everything. It's wonderful. Second one was a girl who was posting in the conure group, and she said, I have a female conure, recently lost her mate. I would love for her to go with a big flock so she has friends and everything. And I said, yeah, okay. I said I could do it. Saw a picture of her. They were petting her and she was snuggling. And I thought this would be perfect because all of my females are kind. Lo and behold, they brought her over. They put her small cage inside the big cage, let her out. And basically that's how we were introduced. They left. They were very sad when they left. And I did pay them for the rehoming fee. And I noticed when I got close to the cage, she would go through the cage to try to attack me. And when I'd get close with my hands, she'd grab a hold and try to rip my skin. I thought, this is a cage aggressive bird. And I've seen them before, but I've never experienced this. And when she'd come out of the cage, she'd stand and she'd climb up on my chest, but you couldn't handle her. So I had to ask her mom, what is the deal with her? Well, lo and behold, when she was adopted, I think she was around 8. She was adopted. She got sick. They had to force feed her the meds. She became afraid of hands. Instead of working with her, they got her a mate. And she was with her mate until he passed away. And by that time, she's already afraid of hands. They haven't worked with her for a number of years. And lo and behold, She's been in a cage for a year. I am at a loss. I am devastated. I am just, it's terrifying to be around her, and it's difficult because I can't allow her around my other girls. So that is second scenario. Third scenario recently happened. Again, I got notified by people in my town. Someone was looking to rehome a parakeet and picked him up. He was in good shape in a clean cage with a nice family. The daughter who owned him had to move, and she wasn't allowed to bring birds. So he's now here with me, and he's a delight. He steps up. He's wonderful. So his name is Lou. And so if you want to adopt a bird, first things first, you have to have the space for them. Number two, you have to be either deaf or be able to tolerate whatever noise comes out of them. They are vocal. Not all of them, but a majority of them are vocal. My green cheeks overall are pretty quiet for the most part. When someone walks up to the front door, they are like an alarm. They sound the alarm. They're like, Mom, someone's here. They screech like crazy. I have a Nande conure who overall is the quietest conure I've ever owned. I swear to God. And then I have a Patagonian who's obnoxious. She's loud. When she screeches, your ears ring. She's ridiculous. So anyways, you have to have the space for them. You have to have the correct size cage. You have to have things that stimulate them. You have to have a place for them to spread their wings. You can train them to fly to you. So just the space, and then also stimulate. They need stimulation. They want to be close to you or another conure. Everyone says, should I get a second? I have 11, and my 9 girls, out of my 9 conures, 7 live together. 2 of them have bonded. Now Penny's my youngest. She only bonded with one of the other conures, our newest one named Dolly. But Dolly is all over the place. She's with the other 7. She's with Penny, but you'll notice sometimes they bond to one another. They'll get into a group of 2 or 3, etc. And sometimes they all hang out together, and it's just wonderful. So for the most part, all of mine get along. The Nande conure, Billy, she has her own cage. She's wonderful. And then our Patagonian conure, she's the largest. She has her own cage, so she has her own space. The green cheeks will fly over to her, but she gets irritated, so I take them off. And I always monitor them when they're out, because a larger bird can mutilate a smaller bird. Larger birds have removed beaks and legs, etc., from smaller birds. So you have to always keep an eye on them. Fresh food or fresh pellets, high quality pellets, and then fresh water every day. I have this powder that you add to the water for feather maintenance, and so our feathers are beautiful. It really has helped our feathers grow in, and I'm just very fortunate. But you also time. You have to have time for them. I'm retired, so I'm home the majority of the day. And even if I go run errands, they all get put into their cages. I have 4 cages in the living room. I have 3 cages for the conures. So I put 6 in the big cage, 1 in a smaller cage, and then 2 in their own cage. And then I have a separate big cage for the Nande, and then another big cage in the kitchen for our Patagonians. So birds are like toddlers. You need to have time for them. You need to have patience. You understand sometimes they're crabby, and sometimes they have attitudes, and sometimes they bite. Yeah, look, did you see that? She bit my face for no reason. Do I like it? No. Am I going to react? No, but whatever. She didn't break skin, so I'm fortunate about that. Why did you bite me? Oh, okay, we're going to do it again. So anyways, I had a baby conure, a little one, who I had her here, and she bit my lip to get up. I thought I had lip piercing there. But those are the important things you have to think about when you want to adopt a bird. It is like having a child that does not grow up. So anyways, those are things to consider. There's a lot of good videos on what to do with conures and stuff like that. Look at her. She. You should be able to handle your conures, but most important, their beaks. You want to be able to handle their beaks because they can bite. And I don't know. They're so sweet. So anyways, that's what you have to think about. Even the nicest conure can bite. Sometimes they don't feel good. Sometimes it's an off day. Sometimes they're hormonal, and hormonal birds. Oh my goodness, that's a whole nother story. So anyways, research, research, research. If you have room, space, and your place and time, a bird may be the right animal for you. So anyways, I'll be back.